Thank you, Mr. President. HB 1207. When I look at HB 1207, I'll share with this body what the minority report is on HB 1207. And the reason being is we don't think that you should take away the county superintendent to take away voting machines, because it doesn't matter what happened the previous cycle or the cycle before that. What if everybody decided to show up the next cycle and you're not prepared? You're going to have long wait lines. People have the right to vote when they want to vote, how they want to vote, and in what election they want to vote in. And you should just be prepared if all those folks show up, because you don't know if they're coming or if they're not. It's almost like having a birthday party and you said, well, the previous birthday I had, of all the people I invited, only a few showed up. And the previous year at my birthday party, only a few showed up. But next year, you could have a bigger birthday party and everybody you invited decided to show up. But if you only prepared for the last two birthday parties, all your other friends are going to be looking around saying, well, you invited me to a party. You knew I was maybe going to come, but you don't have enough machines for me to be at your birthday party. That's what this legislation does. I don't think that's necessary, Mr. President. The other issue I have with this legislation is talking about how much poll watchers shall be entitled to observe any activity conducted at a location in which they're serving as poll watchers, except as otherwise provided for in this chapter. Poll watchers shall be entitled to sit, stand as close as practicable to observe the activity so as to be able to see and hear the poll worker or election official being observed. I don't want these folks that close to me when I'm discussing my electoral business with the poll worker. Now, you know what I feel like, Mr. President, this bill does? If you remember the movie Friday After Next talked about top flight security of the world, sometimes these poll watchers act like top flight security. Like they are the election law and that they're going to determine what's going to happen at the election. And notice you said shall be entitled. So you're going to also pass a law that allows these folks to be entitled, to put that little lanyard on to say poll watcher and think that they're the high sheriff in town on elections. That's what this does when you enable folks to do that. And I don't want folks that close to be in my personal business with me and the election official. They need to back and give me some space to be as close enough to hear. They don't need to hear what my business is. If I have an issue, when we discussed it in committee, or I've been challenged, I got to go to the board of registrars to address the challenge. I don't need them folks that close to me to hear my personal business, because these poll watchers do act like top flight security, like they are the high sheriff on elections. And this bill further amplifies and gives them the power that this body wants them to have to think that they are the law on elections. That's dangerous. To embody volunteers to feel like they can do something about something. The bill don't tell them they need to run and tell somebody. They want to be as close to listen and hear. That's egregious. So now one of the things that we do applaud, because I do believe in giving grace and credit when something is right. Practical fixes that in this bill, providing for the elections with the qualifying of candidates and the provisions for punishing those who intimidate our election workers, we agree with that. But we don't agree with giving these poll watchers the assurance to be top flight security of elections. We don't agree with that. We also don't agree with giving these election superintendents the ability to take machines out because of how they see fit. And so because of that, Mr. President, we don't want top flight security of the world. We don't want top flight security of elections. And therefore, we don't want no top flight security in the elections precinct as a poll watcher thinking that they are top flight security. We want them to give us some space, and that's why we disagree with this bill. And with that, Mr. President, it's very common sense. You can vote no on this, but you know, we could make some changes, but y'all engrossed it, so we can't make changes. So it is what it is. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the well.